A chocolate cow on a chocolate farm? Is this where chocolate milk is made? Lightning is striking right over here. Those cows better hurry up and eat their food quick. Aw, man. Having a good time. Not only did I miss my exit once, I missed it twice. It's that kind of day. There's an event at Full Sail University. What could it be? The future is now. Alright, so we're at Full Sail University. It's very windy, apologize. It's kind of like our long awaited return to NXT tapings at Full Sail. We haven't been here in a while because it's very, very difficult to get tickets these days. But now we got tickets and we're heading in. But first, production crew's out here, as well as No Way Jose. No Way Jose. Triple the H is right there. H. Oh, we're here. I never sat on this side before. It's dark and I'm scared. This guy waits and hides over here while the other guy gets interviewed on the way out. Alright, Full Sail. Leaving. It's raining. Using the camera in the rain. This is the first time I think I've ever left Full Sail for NXT tapings before it was completely over. Some of these matches are just brutal at this point. When I mean brutal, I don't mean fierce competitors. I mean, I think there's level of talent in NXT that's up here, and obviously the developmental guys that are down here, and then there's an awful lot of guys that are just right above that developmental level. And it was painful to sit there and watch some of their matches. So here's the thing, we used to do a lot of wrestling, or moderately. I mean, we used to go to every single NXT taping, and I know a lot of folks out there came to watch the channel because of the stuff that we were doing with NXT and WWE to an extent. I mean, then we kind of cooled down a little bit with NXT because it became impossible to get tickets. People are scalping tickets online now for, you know, it's $10 I believe to get a general admission ticket into Full Sail for the tapings. Getting an actual ticket, next to impossible. That said, NXT or FCW, you know, before it morphed into NXT, the premise of it was to be developmental for younger kids, to hone their craft and eventually hopefully be able to move up to the main rosters. You know, since then, obviously, over the years, NXT really sort of raiding like Ring of Honor, New Japan, other places where there's a ton of independent wrestlers or wrestlers on their scene that haven't made it over to at least the WWE complex or rosters at this point. One of the problems that I think that's still out there, and I think I've talked about this before, is that when NXT started becoming this launch pad where it was assumed like, you know, these guys would come over, whether it's like a Finn Balor or, you know, even the majority of the women wrestlers that were fantastic in NXT, you know, once they make the jump over to the main roster, they're marginalized or they don't know how to handle them. And as a result, guys, you know, it's certainly more the rule than the exception that these guys are left in the dust. I mean, I watched SmackDown last night from the hotel and saw Fandango and Tyler Breeze. These are guys that were phenomenal, both in FCW and NXT, respectively. You know, Tyler Breeze was kind of like a smaller version of Shawn Michaels, like phenomenal. And then he gets up to the main roster, and these guys can go, but their basic point right now is comedy and doing skits. And that's great because it's getting them TV time, but, you know, I think, you know, we've hit a log jam, and that's the reason why I've been so turned off. The products are awful. The last two pay-per-views, absolutely awful. We had a groundbreaking pay-per-view for SmackDown last month where it was the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, which if you're not a wrestling fan and you happen to be watching this video because you're part of the channel, this was a match where it's never been done with women before. There was a briefcase up top that would give you an opportunity to cash in and have a title shot, but there's ladders in the matches and tables and things like that, and essentially this is the first time that they've ever had women compete in that, and they awarded the match to a woman, but it was a guy that climbed up and got the briefcase and did the work to kind of hand it off, which kind of really diminished the value of the win. And, you know, I think since then they've kind of skewered wherever they were going with their storyline to try to bring it back on course and bring more focus to women. And then likewise for the guys, we have on the Raw brand a champion that has shown up. I think this last Sunday was the first pay-per-view that the title was defended since WrestleMania. I could be wrong, but people that every time that there's a new guy that the fans clamor for from NXT, that they're coming up from the roster, like Finn Balor's a great example. He got hurt. Finn Balor's made out of glass sometimes, I think, but he got hurt when he made the jump to the main roster, comes back, and this is still the guy that folks go crazy for in NXT and couldn't wait for him to come back from injury. He's not even in like storylines. He's basically just marginalized on the sideline, not in a title picture, not in doing anything like that. And I think, you know, maybe the creative people, and it's just tough because Vince McMahon and these guys own the company, and Triple H, you know, and Stephanie and Shane and everybody's involved creatively, need to take a step back and realize what they have and what they want to get from what they have. Because as a fan, for somebody that comes out to all these things, it's such a turnoff that it's not getting my money at this point. I'm sure there's a lot of other people in the same boat, and it's way off course. And kudos to the WWE for starting this 205 Live, which is cruiserweights. Cruiserweights are phenomenal. They were one of my favorite things in WCW. But all of these guys that came up to the main roster from NXT, like Finn Balor, you know, and the like, Sami Zayn and those guys, those are cruiserweights. Those are guys that should be on that show, which should be a progression from NXT. And I think that that's money, but instead they're left off to the side just in case, you know, we're gonna throw them into a storyline on the main roster. It's really frustrating, and it's a waste of time and money, I think. Well, we're back home, kinda. At least in a drive-thru where I'm hopefully gonna get some food to put down my gullet. And I actually get to go home and spend some time with the family before passing out. On that note, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all of your likes, your comments, and your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.